Michael Velasco with the Exchangeable Show coming at you today on reverse exchanges. I've scoured the internet. I've looked far and wide trying to find a good video that explains a reverse 1031 exchange. I've yet to find one. Actually, there's kind of one out there. The rest of them, I'm not really sure they've ever done a reverse exchange. So I'm going to explain to the best of my ability today. Stay tuned. We're going into reverse exchanges. So we're talking about a reverse exchange. Let's talk about the motivations and why you would do a reverse exchange in the first place. Meaning, the relinquished property, the property you own that you're going to exchange into the replacement property, the property you're going to buy. Well, the IRS and Rev Proc 2037 gave us the processes for doing this type of transaction and what they call the safe harbor, which is the IRS won't really challenge if we do it correctly. So why would you want to buy a replacement property before selling the relinquished property? Maybe you've got a great deal, and maybe it's a hot market and you don't have time to sell the relinquished property. And if you did get the relinquished property sold, would they take a contingency upon a closing? And on a forward exchange, you only get 45 days to identify. On a reverse exchange, you get the full 180 days, and the 45-day identification period really doesn't apply that much because you're identifying the relinquished property. Guess what? You already own it, so you know what you're going to identify. So the reverse exchange works in a manner in which offers great flexibility to the buyer. Now, some issues with a reverse exchange. You have to have liquidity or the ability to get a loan to buy the replacement property without selling the relinquished property. You can get a loan, and there's some different things we'll get into here in a minute, but you can also borrow off of another property to purchase the replacement property. Meaning there's several different ways you can acquire some cash to buy the replacement property. Now let's get into the mechanics of a reverse exchange. When we buy a replacement property first, we have to hold the property in what is called an EAT, an exchange accommodator's title holder. Fancy word for an LLC that us as the exchange accommodator and QEA, your qualified exchange accommodator, we're going to hold this LLC and be the sole member to this LLC during the exchange period. So that's right, we're going to own the property in a kind of legal fiction kind of way during the exchange period. So we're going to create an entity, an LLC. Exchangeable is going to be the sole member of it, and then we're going to get a loan from you as the taxpayer to purchase the property. And we're going to give you a note and a pledge of membership interest in this LLC. Why do we have to create an LLC? The LLC offers a business way of owning the entity, but we can also do a membership transfer at the end of the exchange period, and we'll get to that here in a second. So you bring the money to the table, we close like we normally do, and if there's any loans on it, you're going to sign the promissory note. But the loans, if they're commercial, we'll let you go into the EAT LLC. After closing, we're going to give you a couple of things. We're going to give you a property management agreement, which works just like a lease that allows you to have access to the property, rent the property. You're responsible for the property, including all the taxes and insurance, and you have the ability to collect rent during the exchange period. So you have full control over the asset, and that's what the property management agreement or triple net lease will give you. Once we close, or slightly before we close the replacement property, we're going to get that relinquished property listed, because remember, we only have 180 days to get it closed and get this EAT LLC out of our names. We list the relinquished property, we sell the relinquished property, and on closing date, we're going to have a bunch of money. That money will be returned to you along with the membership interest in the LLC. So whatever money you brought to the closing table, you're going to get refunded at that time. So if you brought down payment funds or you pay cash for the property, you can be reimbursed to the extent of the money that you brought to the table. The rest of it will go towards the loan payoff if you acquired a loan for the replacement property. The reason why we do the membership interest transfer form is so we don't have to do another closing. Or we change the member manager from exchangeable to you as the taxpayer. It avoids, in some states, transfer taxes, title policy issues, an extra closing, and extra fees. Typically, a reverse exchange will cost significantly more than a forward. As you can imagine, us holding the property, the costs are going to be significantly more, but you are getting rent for the replacement property during the exchange period. So there is going to be some income that you wouldn't normally get in a normal forward exchange. So that's what you need to know about a reverse exchange. And it's okay if you didn't retain all that information. Watch the video again or reach out to us. Shoot us a DM, send us a comment, visit our website. There's a form fill on our website at 1031exchangeable.com. We'll put a link here for you to access that. Love to teach you more about a reverse exchange and educate you on the process. Look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoyed the video.